Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to usaprepares.com. We broadcast 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains, right here from the farm. And if you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. If you'd like to listen as you're traveling or listen on your phone at home, there's a listen line. 605-477-3249. 605-477-3249. We're live today. We are live today. I'm in the studio. And I'm delighted to be back in the studio with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Welcome, Rick.
Hi, good morning. Boy, we had some fun down in Springfield. I'll tell you, it was so wonderful to see my friends that I hadn't seen for a full year. Janet Randall, I've got to mention, was especially a bright light for me because she hadn't seen her in a year. We connected right after Jimmy's Eggs. We went to dinner, and then, we went to dinner. Yes, we went to dinner, and then later at 4 o'clock in the morning, she got up to take me to the airport. I just really now understand what you mean about a family. It's like no time has lost from 1 year to the next when we see each other. It's just as if no time had gone at all. It's wonderful. That is what I would define as true friendships. And it's someone I haven't seen in 10 years, and when you see them, you pick up right where you left off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really, I need to apologize. I wanted so much for you and Matt and Ed from North Carolina and Joey and so many others to make it to the farm.
Ed Marvini. I thought Ed was coming out.
He did come out, but he missed the expo. He ended up at the farm a couple days later and spent the afternoon with us. Yeah, he actually made it. That's married life
for you, especially when it's a good marriage. I'll tell you, good work, Ed.
He's a great man, and it was so wonderful to spend that time with him. Except for one thing.
Grace Thorne. I miss her. I need to say this to you, Grace. We may need you here because I don't know what Julie's going to do with her best friend gone. And apparently Grace is trying to sell a haunted house that's really haunted. And, of course, there's more people in the graveyard than there are in town. It's like I don't know what she's going to do because she can't come back until she sells her home. And I don't think anything's selling in that part of Oklahoma. Well, she does want to come back here to Oregon. She misses it. We miss her.
It'd be great to see Grace Thorne again. And for those who might not know... Yeah, she was going to come up to the expo and to spend time with me like she did a few years back where she sat with me and helped me sell books at yours. But I told her to save the money and fly out before Thanksgiving and spend it with both of us rather than just me. Because Julie is sort of lost without Grace, and it's not allowing me to help her move.
like you did, helping me move with Shealy. She's done now. She's in to her new home, and her parents are coming in, I guess, in next week from Utah. They have a cabin there, and they're going to drive in and spend a week trying to convince her she wants to come back to L.A. because I'm too old for her. Yeah, good luck with that, kiddo. I'm as young as you want to have me. I've learned how to do that part.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, I want to tell you that it was so neat having Ed Marvini at the house, except for one thing. He made me laugh, and it hurt so much.
Yeah, I know. I know. You don't make me laugh, and then you started laughing just on response to me not saying anything, just looking at you.
I now know what splitting a gut means, literally. But it was so
really, man, literally.
It was just wonderful spending time with you and Matt and so many of the instructors. And when we went to the restaurant, Jimmy's Egg, for our reunion, our USA Prepares
reunion, that was really kind of cool.
What did you think of the way?
Has become a close friend. Someone I really look forward to seeing.
Yeah, Stormin Norman Cantwell.
Unbelievable. Healing now. This is a mobster that was assassinated by the mob, and it was essentially came back from death, changed. No memory. That's convenient. He probably does and doesn't want to think about it. But he's a sweet person like I am, and I've never seen anybody as muscular. And I train SEALs and spooks and all kinds of weird people in my lab. I've never seen anybody with his form of armor. Never.
Well,
and I've seen them all at Quantico.
Ed Marvini is a martial arts trainer, and he is extremely muscular as well. Have you seen him lately?
No, I told you I hadn't seen Ed. That I was looking forward. He was going to come to the convention. I didn't get out to the farm because it was you're about 40 minutes or something like that both ways, and I didn't have a way back and forth, so I was kind of like hitching rides trying to save a cab fare. The whole idea for me at that fair was to sell books. I didn't sell as many as I wanted. I don't think Matt sold more than 2 books. I did. I sold a full case of the 2 cases, and I appreciated you hauling those home and shipping them back, because the last time I tried to do that, I put them in my suitcase, and they were too heavy, and I had $25, just right off the gate, and then trying to pack the rest of them on a loose, carrying them in my arms. That didn't work very good. It's hard to know what's going on because the gun shows are in transition now. Interesting.
I agree with that.
Randy Curley is changing. What's that?
I agree with that. The gun shows are changing.
Totally.
And I'd like to...
And it's a mixed bag because they still have the grunt, good old boy kids with their camis coming in to get their weapons for whatever purpose, to shoot crocodiles. I don't know. What I do know is that a lot of the preppers are no longer preppers. They're becoming spiritual. And that's what my talks were about. The most important tool in your tool bag is your attitude.
Right. And by the way, Norm Shealy,
what's coming down the pike you can't prepare for. There's no way you're going to be able to go down deep enough or far enough away. It's going to affect all of us, and nobody knows how it's going to play. And like the Brexit, the 1%ers are now getting normalized and becoming just like us. No money, and it's not real. And guess what? Was that $280 billion or something like that was immediately lost when England voted no? And went right straight into the 1%ers' pockets. It's about time.
Mm-hmm. I want to tell you 2 things. We were talking about muscle, and Dr. Sergei Sorin and Norm Shealy filled in for me yesterday. And I was quite flattered. Since when do you have 2 medical doctors fill in, for a broadcaster? It's the first time I've ever heard of it happening.
It's wonderful to see that what's happening in that regard.
And I know Dr. Sergey Sorin. He and I have met. We've been at the meetups, and he's a really great guy. And he is a mixed martial arts fighter. Dr. Sergey Sorin, emergency room doctor, medical doctor, MMA fighter.
How old is Norm Shealy, by the way?
83.
I have to say, the more I get to know that individual, the more impressed I am with him. It's hard for me to find people like me that have that depth of broad knowledge base. And Norm is someone I look up to, or when I don't know something, he does.
Norm is very, very bright. And as a matter of fact, the medical establishment in Massachusetts had such a hard time with him that he didn't agree with some of the things that they were doing. He thought they were immoral and wrong, medically wrong, morally wrong. So to deal with Norm Shealy, the medical establishment published Norm Shealy's obituary in the Boston Globe in the 1960s.
Yeah, like the dead can dance. They just couldn't wait. Get him out of his thorn.
That's Norm Shealy. I mean, he's been like this for a long time.
I was very disappointed. My girlfriend Julie wrote a very nice letter to him, thanking him for some help he offered with one of her doctor friends who has had an ongoing ailment for 40 years and plus, and no abatement, like nothing has worked. Finally, the jaw thing that I've had, this was another friend of mine, and Julie's, Kathleen Michelle, and she told me to use clove and on my jaw, and then wash my mouth with coconut oil. And guess what? My jaw, through Storm and Norman's remote and energy healing, Dr. Shealy's remote and energy healing, the superstitious use of Running Man's clove, etc., and all of this, and something is working. Now, how does that work? I don't care. I'm glad it's going away for whatever reason that it did it. I think it all helps, and it's about grace or numb, and your friends trying to help you, and just their thoughts of wanting to help you.
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
My computer is so slow, it's making me crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using a computer, or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks On Site. They made an appointment to visit my home and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a shop? That's what happened when I called a support company.
Geeks On Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you are having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks On Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis, 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks On Site for friendly, certified computer repair experts available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682. 1-800-591-1682.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm, Principal Office in Houston, Texas, is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937. Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal Office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
The best kept secret in the firearms business is CDNNsports.com. CDNN Sports is the largest firearms liquidator in the U.S. We've got optics, accessories, gun parts, magazines, ammunition, and more. Sign up for our email specials today for the best gun deals, period. You will also be entered to win a Winchester 101 field shotgun. Go to Charlie, Delta, Novembersports.com. That's CDNNsports.com.
Class, Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us. I'm Vincent Finelli, and when we come back, after this segment, I'd like to play a piece by Merle Haggard, and it's called What I Hate. And some people think that Merle Haggard was killed by the chemtrail flu. I'm here to tell you that these chemtrails are absolutely dangerous. And I really believe that they took me down. Didn't take me out. Darn close. Darn close. I'm still recovering. I'm still doing everything I can not to cough. Because if I cough, I'll split my gut, literally. I am literally super glued together. No exaggeration. And there are people who believe that Merle Haggard was killed by chemtrails. And I'm telling you, they are dangerous. First-hand experience. I've been down for well over a month, probably close to 2 months.
Yeah, I'm going to say something about Springfield. It was cloyed, hot, it was miserable, and I started coughing. And there is no question that your geoengineering is far worse than what we are experiencing out here. And they have really ramped it up here. And you could see it after the rain. It hit that one Saturday morning where it poured down rain, and then it got hot again, and there they were. Mm-hmm. It makes me almost not want to recycle aluminum cans.
We're not doing it. We're not doing it. Literally.
Yeah.
Rick,
now you're getting the full money. All of that is, look, Boy Scouts, ISIS is beheading. Let's go get our buck knives and go get them. That's crazy. And they're using our intent for trying to clean up the earth and do things as a way to poison us right back again. And dentistry is why I've had all my problems, not medical. And medical is so bad I can't believe it, but you'll notice they don't even make provisions for dentistry in Social Security and Medicare. And that's because it's a bunch of witchcraft and the mercury that they use and what is happening in terms of the quality of my life right now, in terms of physical ailments or my jaw and my mouth. Terrible. Nobody has said anything about dentistry. They have not advanced in more than 50 years. They still tie that string to a door and slam it, just like they did.
You know, or power pliers. You know, I know some people who have been to the farm who have done their own dentistry. Now, Dr. Howard Shayne uses anesthetic, and he has a high-speed water-cooled drill, and he does a great job. But even so, I don't think they're they've got studs that can mount false teeth on implants and so forth. They've done that. But
what my jaw is probably about? It's a low-grade infection for when they pulled the teeth. They infected the jaw with small cavity or cavitations, and not enough that you need an antibiotic, but just enough to disrupt sleep. Welcome to Dentistry 101.
Rick, we've got Mark in Missouri. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, guys. I wanted to, lobelia is something that Dr. Richard Miller can look into, and you should look into it too. Lobelia is something that a lot of the old doctors...
sulfate, and what they call Indian tobacco. Yeah. Lobelia sulfate is not a narcotic. It is a deep sedative, and they call it vomit work for a reason when you try to smoke it. Quite familiar with lobelia sulfate.
It's also good for lockjaw, and it's good. Tincture is good too if you want to radiate. If you want to, give the exact kind of a dose. But it will cause you to vomit if you take a lot of.
Yeah, they smoked it, man. I can't believe it. I used that and Maypop to simulate marijuana back in the early 70s when they started doing legal highs. I had big long lines going halfway down the block wanting to buy legal highs when they first came out. Baby Hawaiian Woodrose comes to mind.
The other thing I was calling you about was that I was in the Air Force, and I was stationed at Area 51, Edwards Air Force Base, Mojave Desert. And
go quickly because we've got something we're going to do next.
Hold on.
I'll tell you what, call Mark, call back after the next segment, please, okay?
Okay.
Because I don't want to, I want to give you some time. Thank you. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, and I'll be right back.
There's nothing more enticing and intoxicating than the finest meat cooking on an open flame. Freeze-dried meat from newharvest.com is U.S. grown, 100% all-natural with no extra fillers. Just grass-fed beef and free-range chicken guaranteed to stay fresh and delicious. Add New Harvest freeze-dried meats to your current food storage. You'll buy direct from the factory, not a third party, ensuring the best price and the highest quality. See all our products at newharvestfoods.com. That's newharvestfoods.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
My name is Jay. I'm 26 years of age, and I just want to thank the makers of the One World Whey protein powder. After having chronic abdominal pain and pressure for months, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. The medical doctor told me there was nothing I could do to treat it other than taking pain and nausea medication. Then, I came across an ad for One World Whey on the radio and read the claims that it can help with all types of inflammation. I took the One World Whey protein powder every day for a month, and the chronic pain and pressure sensation went away completely. And I never took the pain or nausea meds. To this day, my intestines are free of pain.
Nature is kind. When we consume foods we're designed to eat, then she gives back health when it was once lost. One World Whey consistently supports the body's production of glutathione and overall repair. Glutathione stops inflammation, removes heavy metals, and toxins of all kind. When inflammation is gone, the body can complete its healing process. Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld, WHEY.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
This is a warning to all household pests, to all cockroaches, spiders, ants, rodents, and other pests. If you've just made yourself at home in someone else's home, you'd better hope the owners never hear about Terminix, because Terminix has the know-how and the means to do whatever it takes to remove you from that home. Terminix has over 85 years of experience exterminating invaders like you. And right now, they're making it easier than ever for homes to be protected by offering a free pest estimate to every caller at 1-800-676-1468. Cockroaches, spiders, ants, rodents, and other pests. This is your eviction notice. With one call, Terminix will remove you from the home you've invaded. If you think you can simply come back later, think again. Terminix will protect that home with a 100% satisfaction money-back guarantee, so you can never return. Warning, homeowners are calling Terminix right now for a free pest estimate at 1-800-676-1468. 1-800-676-1468.
Limitations apply. See plan for details.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us in class. Merle Haggard died April 6th, 2016, this year, in California. And there are questions on the internet. People are asking them, was he murdered by the chemtrail flu? That's a question that I have as well. I absolutely positively know what chemtrail flu is. I've experienced it. I'm experiencing it right this moment. You can hear the changes in my voice. Merle Haggard wrote a song called What I Hate. What I Hate. I'm going to play this, and I'd like you to listen very, very carefully to the lyrics. And then when we're done playing it, we're going to dissect these lyrics line by line, and you will not believe how this song dovetails exactly with what we've been saying here for over 5 years on USAPrepares.com. Are you ready? Here it goes. Please listen very carefully. There you have it. Merle Haggard's What I Hate. And you know, it doesn't get more succinct, more eloquent, more simple, more poetic than that. That's exactly how I feel. Exactly. And I'd like to post the lyrics, a link to the lyrics, and a link to that during this broadcast. It'll take me probably another half hour to get that done. So let's start with line number 1. What I hate is a statesman speaking out of both sides of his mouth. Rick, don't you hate that? We're talking about
I just
Hillary
hate
Clinton.
it when I do that. Isn't that a Saturday Night Live skit where he sticks his needle through his ear and it comes out the other side and he says, I just hate it when I do that. And then, of course, the other person has to escalate until it goes down into a black hole. Now, I just hate it when.
But I hate it when politicians lie, they cheat, they steal, they take from everybody and give to a select few. That's what they do. And I hate it. And then...
Well, the chemtrails in your part of the world
hang on. We'll get
serious because I'm still scratchy from that trip and breathing your air.
We'll get to that line. And then he says, the next line,
yeah.
what I hate, we'll go right down the lyrics. What I hate is the war still going on down in the South. Now, I lived in the South, and I was what was referred to as a damn Yankee. And a damn Yankee is someone who came from the North and moved, someone came from the North and moved to the South and stayed there. You know, someone who visited was a Yankee. Someone who stayed there was a damn Yankee. And that's their term, not mine. And why? Why is there war going on? Because the North invaded the South. And 8 miles from our farm in Virginia, there's a railroad track with a plaque on it. And the Yankees came down to this southern town, this poor, rural, southern farming town. And they set the railroad tracks on fire. And when the railroad tracks glowed red hot, the Yankees bent the track so that the rail line would be shut down and not usable. This is like in the 1860s. That track is there today in the same damaged, deformed, not usable condition as the Yankees left it. The Yankees came down, burned farms, killed animals, had their way with the Southerners. The Yankees invaded the South.
Yeah,
and the Southerners,
and then they used an underground railroad, just like in the movie. All in metaphor.
And the Southerners remember it because they're still trying to dig out. The poor Southerners in the town where I lived are still trying to dig out from the ravages of the Northern invasion. And they don't call it a civil...
You can't even fly that Union Jack.
And they don't call it civil war there. They call it the War of Northern Aggression. And that's what it was. The Northerners were selling slaves to the Southerners, and they said, whoa, you can't have slaves. Nobody wanted slaves, believe me. And up until that point in history, up until the Industrial Revolution, the backs of nations were built on the little people. It had been done that
Africa.
way.
Yeah. I remember
it had been done that way.
Spiritual songs and the way they sang about it, because it was a way of life for them that allowed them a family that they did not have. That all changed when they switched laboratories, and now men can go into women's laboratory. This is crazy what's going on in our world. The whole thing is the same as it was, with groups of people trying to put their values down on others.
Mm-hmm.
Making judgments.
And then the next line is, what I hate is most folks don't seem to care at all. Let me repeat that. What I hate is most folks don't seem to care at all. Rick, you were in an airport, right?
I saw that happen right then coming home, just right then, right there. There's a place in Denver that I like. They make a killer breakfast burrito. It's Mexican. And I'm having my burrito when the man in the bar stood up and fell over in a dead faint. And his buddy started screaming, "Someone call 911. We need help." And I caught him. And as I caught him going down, there wasn't anybody that broke steam on their eating their breakfast burrito. There was nobody looked, nobody cared. I saw it happen. What was very cool is that as I laid him on the ground, it was like the episode when Norm Shealy and I caught that man that had a heart attack at your in Springfield at the Ozark thing, and Norm was there in less than 30 seconds. I caught him, and then Norm took over. The same thing happened at the airport. I caught the man, and less than 30 seconds they had response with a nurse. That once the guy was up and it was determined it was not a heart attack, as we think it might have been, trying to orient him toward how to deal with the fact that he fainted probably because of the heat stroke. It's crazy weather.
Rick,
it's affecting everybody, and mostly people don't notice or care.
Rick, please hold your calls. Please hold your calls until we get through it. It might take us into the next hour to go through this. I think it's absolutely riveting. But the expo you're talking about, a man passed out, and I was giving a seminar, and Mrs. Finelli came in. I went over the PA system, and I said, here's what happened, here's where he is. And Dr. Norm Shealy was there, Dr. Joel Wallach was there, Dr. Howard Shayne was there, Dr. Richard Allen Miller was there, we had nurses there. That man had more, Dr. David. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
My name is Don Wiskin. In 1994, I lost my 62-year-old father to complications of bypass surgery. In 1977, my 44-year-old brother was found dead in his apartment. He suffered a heart attack. In January of 98, my mother had a stroke and passed away in her bed. 21 days later, my 53-year-old brother passed away on his arrival to the hospital. He waited too long. In June that same year, I almost joined them at 42. What did I do? I took a 7-herb formula I now call Extendivite, made from garlic, cayenne, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, hawthorn, milk thistle, and valerian. Based on German studies of natural medicine, Extendivite is designed to clear blocked arteries, clean the toxins from your blood, and improve your immune system. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website, heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite. Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
America, what will it take for you to finally recognize that we're facing a major financial problem today? How high does our debt have to go? How far do stock prices have to fall? How many more times must Congress raise the debt ceiling? How many more trillions does the Fed need to print out of thin air? How much bigger must the wealth gap between rich and poor get? How much longer does the Fed need to manipulate interest rates? Wake up, America. The facts are simple. We can't afford our debts, and we can't stop printing or borrowing money. So, we're going to see a massive monetary crisis like nothing in history. Don't believe government officials or mainstream media who tell you everything's okay. Get the facts. Go online to www.defendmymoney3.com. Learn how to protect yourself. Go to www.defendmymoney3.com. That's defendmymoney3.com.
There is an affordable alternative to the high cost of healthcare that offers freedom from insurance while providing compliance with the Obamacare individual mandate. Imagine having access to quality, affordable healthcare that allows you the freedom to choose your doctor and hospital. Members can share up to 100% of necessary medical expenses, including some alternative treatments. Find out how you and your family can contain healthcare costs without giving up your freedom. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Doc Ram's with us. Class, you're certainly welcome to call, and I'll give you the number, but please hold those calls until we're finished with this piece on...
you want to get it off your chest.
I do. And the number is 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. I feel this way. I absolutely feel this way.
Because of it. I mean, get a grip, Vincent. It made you sick, and for no reason and no cause. And
I'm
no
mad as hell.
explanation why.
I'm mad as hell. I really am. And I was wrong, Rick. I was wrong. I said that if you have a family farm or a family business, and one person gets taken out of the equation and is sick, that the farm is down or the business is down, not 33% of that, that 1/3 contribution by that one person who's down. You're down by 75%. I was wrong. You're down 90%. And it's an absolute killer. It will sink the ship. It really can. One
thing I saw coming out of all of this is the way your younger son, John Michael, stepped up and became a man. I am so very impressed with him, and you're very blessed to have that kind of a son.
I am very blessed. Our son trained in martial arts when he was younger, and he competed. We were told homeschooling, that's, you don't do that because how are they going to socialize? Well, we took our son to martial arts. He trained, and he competed in Virginia in the state championship, and he won in fighting, and he competed in the regionals with 6 states, and he won, and he competed in the nationals, and he took 3rd place in fighting in the nation. Now, if you look at him, you'd never think that he's like Stormin' Norman. He's like Ed Marvini. He's calm. He's quiet, and I watched him. He was at my seminar, and he was carrying things in for me because I couldn't carry anything. In class, I'm 63. Most people would have thought before this happened to me that, I was in my 50s and spry and a farmer, and, I could do a lot very quickly. Well, now it looks like I'm 100 or 90 years old, by the way I'm moving. I'm really in slow motion because I'm in pain. But he would watch from the back of the room, from different vantage points when I was giving my seminar. And had anybody, tried to harm me in any way, there would have been a scuffle. There would have been a scuffle. And you know, let me share one other.
No, man, he's cool. I was very impressed.
And by the way, I got a lot of compliments. Unsolicited compliments. Dr. Joe Alton, Doc Bones. I hadn't seen him in a while. He came up to me, put his arm around me. He said, "Wow, you should be really proud of him. I've been watching your son, and here's what he's doing." And he's so others have said the same thing, and I really appreciate all that he does for us. I mean, but I wanted to share one other thing before we get back to Merle Haggard. There was a woman who recorded my seminar, and after she told me that she recorded it, and I said, "Oh no, I don't want that. I didn't want you to record that." And she said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Will you delete that?" And she said, "Okay." And my son came right up and he said, "Let's do it right now." And he made sure that she deleted it because, one, she did something without my permission. And that's something that I hate. I absolutely hate these cell phones where people think they have a right to take pictures and videos everywhere they go and record everything that they feel like recording. Who are these people who do this? Think about this, class. So you've got Thanksgiving dinner and you invite a bunch of your alleged friends and they put their phones on the Thanksgiving table and they hit the record button. How's that make you feel? Does that make you feel like I sound like I feel?
Go get him, Vinny.
I'm mad as hell. And I don't talk like this. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Attention backpackers on a budget. Why spend $80 to $300 to pump clean survival water? Introducing the Viva Water Pump Kit from Viva Outdoor Products. Super easy to use and super lightweight at only 6.5 ounces, the Viva Water Pump Kit provides high flow rate at 1 ounce per stroke, can be one hand pumped, and is dependable and affordable at only $24.99, filter not included. Get your Viva Water Pump Kit at VIBA-ODP.com from Viva Outdoor Products.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you...
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. Hour number 2 of USAPreparedness.com. I'm live today. And I'm getting better every day in terms of my health. And so I expect that I'm going to be on the radio live most days from now on. Doc Ram is with me, docram.com. If you're interested in Richard Allen Miller's books, you can go to DOC, Doc Ram, R-A-M, Richard Allen Miller, docram.com. And you can peruse his posts, his articles, and you can buy his books. And please hold those calls for a little while longer. I'll let you know when we'll take calls. But we've been talking about Merle Haggard and his brilliant song, What I Hate Is. And one of the lines that we discussed this on hour number 1, and we're continuing with this line by line of his lyrics. And what I hate is most folks don't seem to care at all. And it's absolutely true. But we do have time to watch that little old lady being beat up across the street, and we'll get out our cell phones. We all have cell phones, and we can all watch, and we can all video it and upload it to the internet. But we won't help her. And it's an outrage. And here's another outrage. And while I can't help it, but this rant will continue for a little while longer. So I was at this restaurant, and there's this waitress there. And I know her, and she had a nose ring in, or nose rings. Why is that necessary? It's disgusting. And I don't care if she hears it or not. I don't care if the manager... Actually, I hope the management does hear it. Because I don't want to go back there. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to go back there. So what do you do when you see someone with a nose ring?
For you, Vincent. So guess what? Never mind. I better not say it about Dennis Kucinich.
All right. Well, let me continue then. Let me continue. So what do you do when you see someone with a nose ring? Where's the Board of Health? Is that acceptable that these people who handle food can adjust their nose rings? It's disgusting. So here's what I will do. I will stand up and I'll demand that the manager appear right now. Right now. And I'm going to say, look at her, and I will point, or look at him, whoever it is with these disgusting things and these antennas. And I will say, that's disgusting. I am not eating the rest of this meal, or I'm not eating this meal, and I'm not going to pay for it. I'm leaving. And where's the Board of Health? And I'm going to make sure everybody in the restaurant sees me say that. And I will make an absolute spectacle of it. That's how I feel about it. We are disintegrating. Our morals are almost gone. We've got a guy by the name of Kanye West. And what's he do? He produces a video, and he has these figures, some wax figures. He's got some figures of famous people, all in the nude, frontal nudity. And of course, he's in the center of this. His wife with this big disfigured butt is in this video. And so he and his wife are there. He's nude, but he's covered up. Everybody else is showing genitalia of some kind. Famous people, and some of them are wax figures. He goes and pulls this stunt off. He should be banned from the industry as a disgrace, as a sellout. This is what's happening in the United States of America. It's wrong. It's immoral. It's disgusting. And we need to stand up against it. What the heck happened to our morality? Holly Weird is destroying us. Show me a video that you can watch that has any decent value that's not profane or has sex scenes in it, other than Jericho. Show me. What do you think, Rick?
I think that our whole of society is collapsing down into a black hole because of our current values and what we consider important in our life. The American dream can only be experienced when you're asleep. And that's what America is, because of TV and mind control and the spin of advertising, and why they basically give you a Barbie doll that is impossible for you to ever be like, as a impossibility where you are doomed to failure, and you know it right from the gate, so you might as well just be along for the ride. It's crazy. But the good news is, there's good news. The good news is, as far as I can tell, one percenters in one moment lost more than $20 billion. Just boom like that with Brexit. Good. It's all coming down just like all the doomsday preppers said it would. Banking too.
You know, Rick, the last thing I want to see is another shot of Kim Kardashian's disfigurement. The last thing I want.
With Bruce Jenner becoming Bruce again?
And she's
and she's
stupid enough.
It's all about
she's stupid.
showbiz.
Well, and she's enhancing how much she has to show. She doesn't. I don't think she realizes how ready she is for the circus. Really,
the Botox
that whole family, that whole family is pierced, tattooed, branded, disfigured, and I don't think they started out quite that way. I think they started out looking relatively normal. And
Florida Housewives.
And Bruce,
that's how it went. Started with TV and action series.
and Bruce Jenner.
That's the way I see it.
Bruce Jenner. I mean, what do you do? What do you do when your father says, "Do you like the red high heels or the yellow ones better? And does this dress look better on me?"
Which restroom are you going to use today, honey? The male or the female? That's crazy.
That family or that collection of people who say they're family are nuts. They're a disgrace. Can you imagine that?
Obama and this immigration crap that's going on is that, yes, give us your poor and your da-da-da, your downtrodden. But, in fact, what's actually happening is that we are being invaded by a silent army with values that are not even weird like Hollywood. They are way out there. If you were to go to Iran or Iraq and watch the way a man treats a woman.
What do you think the life expectancy of Bruce Jenner in one of those countries would be with his high heels and his boobs?
Oh yeah, and his gold medal for Sports Illustrated. Which shoe should I wear, honey?
Rick, the next line in Merle Haggard's "What I Hate Is," and we played it hour number 1 class. If you'd like to hear it, I'll post a link to so you can listen to it during this hour. He says, "What I hate is looking up and seeing chemtrails in this clear blue sky today."
Those are contrails. Just they hang in there a little longer than normal. That's all. Yeah.
And some people think that Merle Haggard was killed by the chemtrails.
You almost were.
I almost was.
Stay tuned on how that all plays.
I almost was. And let me tell you what, it's painful. It's debilitating. It has taken 10 years off my life, and I'm mad as hell. I'm mad as hell.
Yeah, and with a hair trigger like you have, looking for an excuse.
I have a hair trigger. Yeah, some people think that I'm
happy. Actually, let's go
some people. Well, you mean that figuratively, I hope, because otherwise it's going to be.
You took the weight off the trigger so they could fire quicker. Let's go get them.
Make sure you let.
I didn't notice the police as present in Springfield like they were for you.
Oh, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. By the way, Rick, I need you to before I've got a comment on that. Rick, you need to make sure that it's clear that I'm not ready to shoot people. Okay? Can you do that for me?
Why? I want everybody to be afraid. Be very afraid. That's Wednesday in Adam's family. Be very afraid.
All right. Well, what Rick is saying is that I will not back down from a fight. That's what he's saying. He's not saying that I'm going to go out shooting people, because I'm not. Now, otherwise the SWAT team's going to be at my house before the end of the podcast. But here's what I'd like to share on what I saw at a gun show. There was a guy in the aisle, and I was making my way in his direction. And I stopped, and he had a rifle for sale. It was an AR-15, a black rifle. And it was in Missouri. And I said to him, "So, are you selling that?" He said, Yeah. I said, "What is it?" He said, "It's an AR-15. Oh. Okay. What? So what? So I said to him, what brand is it? Now, there are all kinds of levels of quality, the cheap Chinese AR-15s to, lower quality U.S. manufacturers to all kinds of higher quality brands like Colt and others, okay? So I asked him what brand it was, and I was kind of stunned that I never heard of this particular brand before.
Yeah.
He said, it's a, and then he had to
yeah.
read it, okay? So the next question I asked, and this is very important, class. This is a story that I'm telling you for a very specific reason. So the next question I asked him was, oh, is this yours? Now think about this. This guy's standing there selling this rifle. I ask him what it is. He tells me it's an AR-15. I asked him how much it was. He said $600. I said, is it yours? Now, why would I ask him if it's yours? When we come back, I'm going to tell you why that is so important to ask that question. Because I believe this could have been a setup by the police ready to put somebody in jail, possibly like me, for 20 years for buying a weapon, a rifle, from someone who didn't.
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Attention backpackers on a budget. Why spend $80 to $300 to pump clean survival water? Introducing the VIBA water pump kit from VIBA Outdoor Products. Super easy to use and super lightweight at only 6.5 ounces, the VIBA water pump kit provides high flow rate at 1 ounce per stroke, can be one hand pumped, and is dependable and affordable at only $24.99, filter not included. Get your VIBA water pump kit at VIBA-ODP.com from VIBA Outdoor Products.
Hello?
Congratulations.
For what?
For losing all that weight. How'd you do it so fast?
ASAP.
What? What's that mean?
Are you ready to get as skinny as possible, as soon as possible, as simple as possible, and as sexy as possible?
I'm listening.
Then get with the ASAP program. It's real and it works. No smooth talk, no slick advertising, and no exaggerated claims of success.
I've got to know more.
Welcome to ASAP, as slim as possible. Whether you have 10, 20, or 50 pounds to lose, ASAP is your weight loss answer. ASAP targets the abnormal fat reserves and makes them available to be burned as fuel and contains no caffeine or hormones. Order ASAP at wholesale prices or join the team to share the business with others. Go to GCNteam.com or call 855-GCN-MALL. That's 855-426-6255. GCNteam.com or 855-426-6255. Lose weight and look great with ASAP, as slim as possible.
This is David Cordani, CEO of Cigna. For
For more than 20 years, Cigna has worked with the March of Dimes to address premature births in the U.S. Premature births cause horrible suffering and cost billions of dollars each year. That's why Cigna is committed to raising funds and awareness through our employees, family, and friends to improve the health of moms and babies. Please join us in supporting the March for Babies. Start your team today at marchforbabies.org.
We're talking about the cops at shows like gun shows and other kinds of shows. And class, I was probably the first to throw the cops out, where we would not use the cops at our Get Prepared Expo. That kind of an expo, we were the first. When we had guns for sale, we decided we don't need these guys. By the way, they're not free. They have a fixed price. It's price fixed in Springfield, Missouri. You will pay those uniformed guys $25 an hour for them to show up. And they'll tell you who you're going to get. So you just can't call your buddy and say, hey, listen, Ted, can you come to our show? I'd like to pay you, how about $15 an hour? No, it's price fixed at $25 an hour in Springfield by the police department. The police department price fixes what they charge. Now,
I noticed how they parked their brand new vehicles right in front of the hotel in Kansas City, and I remember the difference between Springfield and Lebanon when they tried to bust my workshop that evening, sweet old man, because I was, there's something wrong with everything.
I can't stand Lebanon, Missouri. I do everything I can to avoid it. But anyway, let me finish this story.
On hammering on that one. That's really crazy. I mean,
Lebanon was horrible to us.
They were crazy. What did they think I was doing with living off the grid for 30 days? We're going to rip off everybody's water? What?
Where was this, Rick? Was this in Missouri or in?
Remember, we were doing it in Lebanon, and then that was the Lebanon police, and then we were across the state over in Kansas City. And then they parked those guys, instead of intimidating, they parked their brand new black vehicles with new license plates and all of that right in front of the hotel where you can't, and lined them up to show off their ordinance.
Let me see if I've got this right. Do they park in the yellow, no fire lanes? Is that where they park? I mean,
No, they park where you're not supposed to park on the lawn. Remember?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me finish this. Okay. So I encountered this man at the show, a gun show, and he had this AR-15, and I asked him if he was selling it, and he said yes. And then I asked him how much it was, or I asked him what it was, and he told me an AR-15. I asked him what brand it was, and he told me this brand that I didn't recognize. And then I asked him how much it was, and he said $600. And then I said, "Is it yours?" And that's a critical question. Now, if I'm living in Missouri and I'm at a public event or a private event or just at this guy's house, for example, and I say, are you selling that? And he says yes, and he's from Missouri, I'm from Missouri, and he owns it, and I'm not a felon and he's not a felon, then I can buy it absolutely above board legally. However, if he doesn't own it, it's a straw purchase and it is illegal. And that person who buys it can go to the clink for 20 years, even if it's a government setup by the cops. So I said to him, "Is it yours?" I'm just confused. Just want to, why would I ask that? Because I don't want to go to jail. Now, I didn't want to buy this. I was just seeing how it would go. What I really wanted to see is how maybe they were setting this transaction up. He said, no, it's not mine. It's for this other guy. And he's walking around. It's so heavy. Heavy, it's like 5.5 pounds. So it's not his. It's not his, and he's selling it. Had I peeled out $600, I'm sure that I would have been arrested. What I'm telling you is don't fall for this. At another gun show, I was talking to one of my friends who was a vendor. And he was behind his table. and I was in front of the table, and we were just chatting for several minutes. And this guy walked up, very much like the guy was dressed that was selling this AR-15 that I just described. And the guy said, hey, he said it quietly to my friend, leaned over and said, hey, do you have an auto sear for an AK-47? An auto sear is a little tool, a little part, a small part that you could probably put 100 of them in your hand at one time, and they'd all fit. And it would convert an AK-47 to full automatic, which is absolutely illegal if you do that without paying the license, the tax on it. Instantly go to jail for a long time. What did my friend do? My friend started yelling and screaming and causing a ruckus and saying, that's illegal, I don't have those, I don't sell those, I don't want those, get out of here. That's how we handle these cops.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2, call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-941-5257. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-941-5257. Step 3, congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-941-5257. That's 1-800-941-5257.
Think about this. Your community's aging water infrastructure systems are very likely to be contaminated with heavy metals like lead, disinfection chemicals like ammonia, chlorine and chloramines, and pharmaceuticals like statins, pain meds, and antidepressants. And no, water treatment plants are not equipped to filter these pharmaceutical toxins out. Protect your family's water supply with the trusted Big Berkey water filter. New NSF EPA-certified lab tests show Big Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria, and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification, and our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Class, there's a petition link on page 1 of USA Prepares. It's free Mike Parsons. So if you'd like to click on it and sign the petition, as I have, that would be wonderful. We only have 12 signatures. It was just put up. Ed in North Carolina put it up.
By the way, thank you for that. Someone asked if I knew Mike Parsons, and I could not remember who he was, because I have so many people I'm meeting now. But
you know him.
Thank you. Yes, I do.
You know him. He's 6'5", tall guy.
I'm starting to turn into an old man, and my memories are starting to convolute into different colors I can't even describe anymore.
All right, Rick. Next line, Merle. And by the way, we were going to talk about a whole bunch of things, but we're staying on this Merle Haggard piece for because it defines who we are and how we feel and what we hate and what we like. And I'll talk about what
I can tell by your
I am.
rump.
I'm getting angry and healthier. All right, so here's another line. What I hate is hitting roadblocks on a highway in my way. What I hate is hitting roadblocks on a highway in my way. Who are these jackbooted thugs stopping everybody, holding us up? Who are these people? I hate it. And you know what? If they've got no reason to stop me, get out of my way. Get out of my way. And I didn't disagree with my father very often, but I remember as a young driver, maybe 17 years old, we hit one of these traffic stops up ahead. And this was in the 70s. Actually, it was probably in the very late 60s. And he said, well, it's okay. We're not doing anything wrong. I said, Dad, that's the point. We're not doing anything wrong, and it's not okay. It's not okay to stop us. This is America. We're not doing anything wrong. These people need to get out of the way. And it's only gotten worse. It's only gotten worse with the MRAPs. Rick, you heard at the reunion last Saturday. You heard at the reunion, one of our instructors, he came up to the microphone. He's a former Springfield cop. And I asked him, I said, is there a ticket quota? And he said, no, there's no ticket quota. Yes, there is a ticket quota. No, there isn't a ticket quota. Yes, there is. And then he defined what he meant by that. He said, no, there's no official quota. But if you, as a cop, don't show the right amount of what he referred to as initiative and write the proper amount of tickets, then you are relegated to either the combat zone or Siberia, or you get old equipment and you are ostracized from your former friends. Those other thug cops who would have lunch with you and who are demonstrating the proper amount of initiative and writing the proper amount of tickets, those guys do well. They get the new equipment, the new rifle, pistol, shotgun, the machine guns, the grenades, the new automobiles, all the accoutrements of being a one-man army in black.
in a black uniform. You get all that plus the radios and the tear gas and, everything. If you don't have the right amount of what they refer to as initiative, you get counseled and micromanaged. And your life is made pure hell. And your former friends won't eat with you or chat with you or associate with you. You are banished because you are not showing the right amount of initiative. Initiative equals revenue equals tickets. And I hate it. Now, what Merle Haggard says is what I live for is a chance to change and be everything I can be. That's what I live for. A chance to change and be everything I can be. And then he says, what I love is someone bright enough to see. Someone bright enough to see.
You know, I hate to say this to you, Vincent, but it sounded like a U.S. Army poster.
Well,
and actually, I met some kids that told me that they went into the military, and then the military gave them their education. And you know, that's one of the things about the military that is cool.
Yeah, but they don't have to inoculate them for an early death. They don't have to put targets. They don't have to. They don't have to put targets on the front and backs and heads of everyone that they sign up. They don't have to send them
all
in
RVs into Baghdad. You know,
they don't have to send them.
Baghdad was the center of Europe, like it is Prague, before they bombed it into rubble.
Right, and we don't have to bomb every sovereign nation into rubble. We don't need to do that. And if we wonder why people hate us, it's the same reason the South still hates the North. Why? If the diaries of the Southern fighters show that they were asked, why are you... The Northerners asked the Southerners, why are you fighting? Why? And the Southerners said, because you're here. You're invading us. That's why we're fighting. And why do all these small countries, these third world countries, hate Americans? Because we're there. And we have drones and bombs and radiation and chemicals and biologicals, and we're killing and disfiguring and maiming and causing mutations all around in their country. No wonder they hate us. What's to like about America? What? And Merle Haggard said, what I love is someone bright enough to see. Now, you got to have a microscope to find enough people that are bright enough to see, Rick. And I can prove it. I can prove it. If you go to a ball game, you'll find the stands filled with people. If you see one of these alleged Hollywood actors or actresses, there'll be a mob trying to see these people. They're not real. They're actors. They portray these parts. They're not who they portray. They're acting that. Well, those people would be mobbed. You come to one of our events, you come to an expo, there's hardly anybody there, relatively speaking. You know, there might be 1,000 people. That's nothing compared to a ball game with 65,000.
Yeah.
Next line.
Well, it's not going to matter much shortly. All of it's going to be brought back down to equal, and it's going to be the center that you have that's going to save your bacon or not.
All right. Here's the homework. Class, if you have Netflix, and while I was flat on my back trying to mend, I got a chance to watch some videos on Netflix, and one of them was about Cuba and the revolution in Cuba. That's homework. And if you think this is going to be fun and you want to see how a revolution works with real footage and real photographs, you'll see it. It is homework for your entire family. It's going to be painful. And then, to add an exclamation point, rebellion. Rebellion is about Ireland in 1916 with the Irish Rebellion. Famine, poverty, starvation. So there's a rebellion against the government. Now the government's doing really well. They're in the castle with walls and gates and guards, and everybody's happy there. But everybody else is starving, and there's a rebellion. And then the police start shooting the rebels. And that's not enough. They need some help. So they call in the military, and they have firing squads. So if you think that what's coming, the Second American Revolution, is going to be fun, it's going to be over in 20 minutes, I'm here to tell you, no such thing is going to happen. It is going to be brutal, bloody, costly. It is horrific. And if you want to see about the horrors of war, rebellion, and Cuba on Netflix. Back to Merle Haggard. What I hate and always will, what I hate is someone mad enough to kill. Now think about that. Rick, we are losing our minds right now. We are losing our minds in the United States of America. Murder, suicides, mothers killing children, mothers killing fathers, fathers killing mothers and children. It's out of control. Now, what is it? Rick, there's a correlation between temperature and anger. There's a correlation. There is. There really is. And,
Be careful, Vincent. Anger is a very powerful and useful tool to wash floors. But if you don't manage it correctly, it will also give you cancer.
Mm-hmm. What I'm saying, Rick...
It's like addiction. Timothy Leary said there are 4 reasons why you take psychedelics. Only one of them is for recreation and escape. And so the distinction between addiction and Amsterdam is measured in the quality of air that you breathe. And actually, the Midwest sucks. I can't live there just because not only is it flat, it's the creepiest weather breathing I've ever had. And your weather was kind of like East Coast with this stuffy, I don't know what you'd call it. It's not smog. It's something in the air that's making you ill.
Rick, I'm here to tell you, 10 years ago...
Disclosure, I might add.
10 years ago, when we were looking for a great place to live, this was a great place to live. Now it's dangerous.
We have NREPs now.
Well, I'm looking for someplace else, and I'd love it if our class would call in, anytime and let me know where we should look, where the skies are clear.
Out here with marijuana. Just kidding.
We'll be right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
DarkCityDefense.com was born in Black Mountain, at the foot of the Black Mountain Range in North Carolina. From the Dark City, as it's affectionately been named, we've built an online firearms pro store that boasts a vast range of firearms, optics, and outdoor supplies. With aggressively low everyday pricing and a free gift pack with every firearms purchase, DarkCityDefense.com is committed to Tier 1 customer service and overcoming darkness by turning on the light of liberty. Find the light in our logo and find out more at DarkCityDefense.com. So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
America, what will it take for you to finally recognize that we're facing a major financial problem today? How high does our debt have to go? How far do stock prices have to fall? How many more times must Congress raise the debt ceiling? How many more trillions does the Fed need to print out of thin air? How much bigger must the wealth gap between rich and poor get? How much longer does the Fed need to manipulate interest rates? Wake up, America. The facts are simple. We can't afford our debts, and we can't stop printing or borrowing money. So, we're going to see a massive monetary crisis like nothing in history. Don't believe government officials or mainstream media who tell you everything's okay. Get the facts. Go online to www.defendmymoney3.com. Learn how to protect yourself. Go to www.defendmymoney3.com. That's defendmymoney3.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Doc Ram's with us. I'm Richard Allen Miller. Hey, Rick, I want to tell you that, on page 1, USA Prepares, there's a link to free Mike Parsons' petition. Here's the most amazing thing. These thugs in Tennessee won't let up. So Mike Parsons has an ankle.
There's something wrong with judicial system across the board, even in Grants Pass.
Well, let me tell you what happened. So he's out on bond, $85,000 bond, okay? And he's home. He's going back to court tomorrow. He just got out this week, back in court. These guys may rearrest him, wipe out his finances, try to steal his farm. Why? Because he has a landing strip, a registered landing strip on his farm. I think these thugs in Tipton County, Tennessee, want to steal his farm.
That's how they do automobiles with Little Rico. That's how they do people's homes. I have watched them condemn someone's home just to put them behind taxes so that they can take the property away. I had a very good friend that he camped on his land after they took it from him, and then they arrested him as a pedophile. He wasn't. He was just living on his land. Had no other place to go. He went homeless. He just died.
Rick, we got a special report on Tuesday. I just want to make that announcement. Class, do not, let me say it a different way. Do not miss Tuesday's special investigative report. Back to Merle Haggard. What I love is someone with a heart that's really good. Now, we can't change the whole wide world. Maybe we can change our neighborhood. And obviously, for anyone who is naive enough to think we can change Washington by going to Washington has lost his or her mind. We can't. But what you can do,
and leveraging. That's the only.
But what you can do,
out of prison.
What you can do is go to your mayor's house, knock on the door, say, "I'm so glad you're home." Or if he's not home or she's not home, you leave a Post-it note on the front door saying, "Sorry I missed you, we'll be back."
Yeah, you do that with a Bowie knife.
Now be careful, Rick.
With a Bowie knife. That's the way to do it.
You don't mean that literally, I'm sure. But what we're saying is,
my dad did it.
all right, I'm recommending using a Post-it note.
But my dad did it.
The reason I'm recommending that you go to your mayor's house is bring government back to local and let these guys know that you know where they live and you expect them to do the right thing all the time. Not some of the time, not part of the time, not once in a while, all the time. And never reelect anybody.
$bucks for doing that job.
And never reelect anyone. Never. You know, mayors used to volunteer. Now what mayors do is they hire someone to run the city for them so they can play golf. Mayors, it's unbelievable. Mayors have become a position where they don't even work. They play and they take bribes and they reallocate stolen money. Mayors and other people who allegedly represent us. Class, I've posted the links to Merle Haggard. What I hate is I've posted the video, Merle Haggard, the 3-minute video and audio. What I hate is I've posted the Free Mike Parsons petition. And I posted a video link of a cop telling a teenager to stop or he'll shoot. And this teenager, the cop is on foot. The cop is standing in front of the car. Teenager backs up, drives around the cop. The cop shoots 7 times into the windshield of the vehicle and then gets on his radio and announces that the teenager tried to run him over. You see the video, you'll see nothing like that happen. Only the cop lying. And I heard that Vinny thinks all cops are bad. No, I don't think they're all bad. I just want proof of the good ones.
Well, you had
DocRam.com.
Jimmy's Eggs.
Yeah, that's what happened live at Jimmy's Egg. I was told that I hate cops, or I don't think there are any good ones. And I said, no, I just want proof that there are good ones. DocRam.com. Rick, thanks so much for being with us, class, above all.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
DarkCityDefense.com was born in Black Mountain, at the foot of the Black Mountain Range in North Carolina. From the Dark City, as it's affectionately been named, we've built an online firearms pro store that boasts a vast range of firearms, optics, and outdoor supplies. With aggressively low everyday pricing and a free gift pack with every firearms purchase, DarkCityDefense.com is committed to Tier 1 customer service and overcoming darkness by turning on the light of liberty. Find the light in our logo and find out more at DarkCityDefense.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pileski of the Pileski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.